We do start out with a little intro,
Okay.
so we'll start with that. Are you recording already? I am. Well, great. Yeah. Again, it's our behind the scenes. So it's fun. Actually, 1 week recently, Nick, what were we doing? We were saying hello, because we were trying to check the sound.
People loved that.
Yeah. And then I was like, hello. And then he's like, let's harmonize it. And we actually both harmonized hello. Very fun. It was funny. And I didn't know he already had turned on the video. And he's like, well, there you go. That's for everyone to see. And I was like, oh, that is so nice of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, anyways, here we go.
Hit that big
ready?
old record button.
Hit the big old, that again. See? I got to actually hit record and do the things. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
We're here with Shawna Huss. Yay.
Yay.
Midwest Design Homes. We're very excited to talk to you today, my dear. Thank you for coming in.
Of course. Thank you.
And just learn all the things about building, because I know a lot of people want to build houses. So,
Yes.
without further ado.
In the know in the 920.
My daughter does. That's it. That's our intro music. There it is.
Yeah.
All right. So, Shawna, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, of course.
And, okay, so Midwest Design Homes. Do you usually say MDH?
Yes.
Is that, okay, so it's MDH, but it stands for Midwest Design Homes, right? Okay. Just want to make sure I'm on the right. I thought so. So, first of all, how about if you give us a little bit of history on MDH?
Sure. So MDH was actually started as John Huss Custom Homes.
Okay.
We started John Huss Custom Homes in, I think, 1990 it was.
Wow.
And the houses just kept getting bigger and more expensive.
Sure.
So people at a point thought they couldn't afford us anymore.
Okay.
So started losing some business because of that. At that time, we decided to branch out with the MDH line.
Okay.
So the John Huss is still around. We still do more of the high-end customs with that company.
Okay.
But the MDH line is more like middle-of-the-line builds. You can make modifications to the floor plans. You can pick out everything still with that line. It's just a little more cost-effective.
Got it. And those are all spec homes, though? Spec homes that you can make some modifications to?
Correct.
Okay.
We can build a smaller custom home with the MDH line, and by smaller I mean like 2,000 square feet, 2,500 even, as long as it's not getting super out of hand with selections and all the
Yeah, if all of a sudden I'm like, hey,
yeah.
Shawna, I just want, just something small and cute, right? And then that would be me. I'd be like, well, now we're going to need chandeliers in every room and quartz countertops everywhere. And
I want all of the baseboards to be made out of actual dinosaur bones.
I love that. I had a guy that was like, I want 500 square feet. I'm like, okay, that's pretty small, but so we can do it. And he's
Sure.
like, and I want no right angles. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a John Huss.
Huh.
yeah,
500 square foot John Huss, but that is.
Wow.
We didn't end up building it, but.
That sounds like a silo.
It sounds like a tiny home,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah. Just not a square box. Yeah.
Well, very interesting. Wow. I'm sure you've got lots of interesting things. Wow. Okay, so that started back in 1990. And then again, it branched out into from just the one to just the John Huss to John Huss and the MDH line.
Mm-hmm, correct.
And that's where we are today.
That is correct.
Cool. So your title technically is New Home Consultant. Fancy.
Yes.
So first of all, tell us kind of what the buying process looks like. Like if somebody comes in, whether they have an agent, because I know we've worked with you very successfully many times. You guys are great to work with. So I love it when we have a buyer and we say, you're one of the first people that we always recommend because you guys are so great and you do great work and, it's just a whole experience, right? So whether they have an agent though or not, when they come in, what are kind of the first steps in the process?
Sure. So the first meeting would be a general consultation where we would sit down with the buyers and or the realtor, depending on if they have one or not.
Sure.
If you have a realtor, definitely bring them to that first appointment. That's how they get paid.
Yes. Yes.
If you don't bring them, they don't get paid.
Right.
So definitely bring them to that. But after that initial consultation, we would either one of two things. We'd either start looking for a lot, or we would start working on house plans. It kind of depends on what the customer wants to do.
Sure.
Sometimes they want something a little more custom, or like a lake lot or something like that, where we would say, okay, we should definitely find the lot first, because of that is going to have a direct effect on the actual design of the house.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If people just want, just any subdivision lot in the Ashwaubenon, we can pretty much fit almost any floor plan on that, so we could potentially start looking at plans right away.
Okay. So if I came in and I was like, you know what, I want a new construction home, but I don't have a lot of time, would you probably point me in the direction of one of your existing spec homes?
Correct. We try to keep around 10 spec homes available that people can go look at.
Okay.
So they can get different ideas of floor plans and room sizes and finishes, things
Sure.
like that. They're selling a little quicker than normal right now.
They are, aren't they?
Yes. But we try to keep that many around so that people have that option, that they can kind of go look at it on their own time. And,
Sure.
and kind of decide floor plan wise what they like.
Okay. How many different floor plans do you guys have?
We have hundreds of floor plans.
Seriously?
We do. So.
Oh my gosh, I
been in
didn't realize
business
that.
For 35 years, and we
True.
build 30-ish houses per year.
Okay.
So that many plans.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and any one of our plans is customizable. So if you go out and you see, like our Hawthorne is built, not currently, but if you saw it built,
Yeah.
we have a larger version of that and a smaller version of that as well.
Okay.
So we can, like I said, customize any floor plan to meet anybody's needs.
That's really cool. Because I do feel like a lot of, just in my experiences working with buyers that have worked with other builders, a lot of times it's much more, what's the word I'm looking for? There's just not as many options.
Sure.
Right? It's kind of like, here's the things, and that's it. And, some of them will allow some customizations, but a lot of them don't. I love that you guys do. So obviously, if I'm just buying a spec home that's already done, then that's what I'm buying, right? But if I'm like, I want you to build me one of your plans, then that's where I can start asking you to make changes and do different things.
Yep. And we have a set of, I would say, home sites is what we would call them, or lots, that buyers could pick from. And if they want, if they're like, I do like this lot, I don't know what house plan I want, we do a fully refundable deposit on the lot, and then that would hold it for a set amount of time while we look at plans.
Sure.
Even in that process, if they find something existing on the market, or if they find one of our homes that they want to just purchase, then, like I said, it's fully refundable, so they can get that money back.
Very cool. I love that. You guys really, I think, do a great job of going out of your way to make it as easy for people as possible. I think, as we were talking about before we came on air here, more and more people are wanting to build because there's just not, a ton of housing inventory out there. But I get, people, and I'm sure you get people too, that come to you and they're just kind of overwhelmed with the thought of it.
Yes.
Right? They're like, where do I start? What do I do?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't think that they can afford it either, but if you're going to overpay for something that's used,
Right.
versus something that's brand new, your roof's new, your furnace is new, all of the things that could go wrong in
Right.
an existing home.
Correct. They're all good.
You're covered.
They're all good. So Nick is engaged here,
Congratulations.
and they've been looking
Thank you.
for a home. I think you and Amelia should just
build.
build.
Yeah. I was just going to snap together some Legos, and maybe that'll get me part way there, but
If you
No.
want some extra help, call Shawna.
Yeah.
no, I think building would be in the future,
Okay.
but yeah, not now.
Okay.
We do have people that even purchase like a vacant lot right away, and then they pay that off, and you can actually use that as your down payment for the home when you build.
That is a good idea too. That's smart. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So obviously, okay, people come in, they have a consultation, you start going over, here's what would fit you best, right? and you guys all decide on something. Now, how in the world am I going to pay for this, right? Because, and by that I mean, there's obviously different kinds of construction loans and different ways of doing things, and people get a little confused and nervous about that. And to be honest with you, I even do. I'm like, you know what? I'm a realtor, and I feel like everybody does it a little bit different, so I'm just going to have you talk to the lender and let them, But what are some options that you guys have for people?
So, I mean, the best option, I should say, is going to be your construction loan. So how that all works is once we have the bid together with the house plans, the buyer would then sign a build contract.
Okay.
The contract and the plans is going to go over to the bank.
Okay.
The bank is going to do their appraisal process. They're going to do all of their loan process prior to starting construction.
Oh, that's cool.
So once they close on the loan, then we start construction. There is 5 different draws that we would take during the construction. So there's like a down payment, there's framing, insulation, cabinets, and then completion. The buyer is making interest-only payments during construction on the amount of money that we pulled. So that payment will kind of trickle up a little bit.
Sure.
But again, it's just interest.
Okay.
And then once the house is complete, then we do our closing on our end, and the buyer can move right in after that.
Okay.
So it's pretty easy that way. The other option is to do what we call a turnkey construction, which is more like a traditional real estate purchase. So they would have a turnkey construction contract that they would sign with us. There is a fee for that since we have to hold the loan.
Okay.
But outside of that, then once we close on the home with the bank, or I should say when we're finished with the construction, the bank then would have to come in and do that appraisal process at the end. So the house is done, but the buyer can't move in until they are closed on that loan, which can be 30 to 45 days after the house is done.
Got it. Okay. I wonder why they do it that way.
Because they they want to appraise the house as it's built. When you do the construction loan, they're appraising the plan, and then they come out at the end and just get a visual,
see.
like, yep, this is what was in
That
the
makes
contract.
sense.
You're good to go.
Yeah. And I'm sure, they've seen a couple of your plans at this point, just a few over the years, right? So they probably know, they do great work and this is legit and all the things.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any cool specials going on?
We do. So on our current inventory of homes that are for sale on the MLS, we have one of 2 options. The buyer can choose a 2-1 buy-down program, and that is with a specific bank that they would have to do that. But you get a 2% lower interest rate that first year, and then a 1% interest rate lower on the second year, and then the third year would just roll into whatever interest rate they would have received from the beginning. So they can choose that option, or they can just choose $5,000 towards closing costs. Or if they wanted like a patio and $3,000 in closing costs, whatever. We can kind of be a little more flexible on that end.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Lots of options.
Yes.
And especially with the way interest rates have been, it's nice that the 2-1 buy down, I think, is a great option. And not every seller or builder, for that matter, offers that.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
Yeah, it helps them kind of graduate up into that payment.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So, timeline on new construction.
Yes.
What are we looking at? If I come to you and I say, I want you to build me a custom home, right? Custom home. What are we looking at potentially from like start to finish approximately? Because I know everything is different. We're not holding you to anything, but what's like the approximation on that?
So if we're looking at like a higher end John Huss, like a larger home, we are in the probably 8 to 12 months.
Okay.
Yep. The MDH side, so a little bit smaller, a little more simple. You're around 6 months.
Sure. That's not bad
Yeah. Sounds
from
right.
start to finish.
Okay.
I mean, I like that.
I gotta ask, what do you think is probably the largest house that you've ever built? had to-
Yeah, I would say probably around 8,000 square feet.
8,000?
Ooh,
Yeah,
love that.
That would require a lot of Roombas.
it would.
Okay, so 6 months on the on the MDH side, roughly 8 to 12 on the John Huss side. I have a funny John Huss build story, kind of. I don't know if it's that funny, but it's just kind of cute. And I don't know if you remember this, but several years back, he had a home up for sale in the area, and my buyers absolutely loved the house, but they wanted it in Nina. They were like set on Nina. And he made a couple of modifications to it. There's a couple things they're like, well, can you bump this out a little bit or this or that? But otherwise, like, went and built the same house for them in Nina, which was really cool. I love that. Yeah. They were so in love with the house. I mean, they were like, this is the house. But and location is huge, right? They just could not get past the Nina thing. So we went and found him a lot in Nina. John built it.
Yep.
It was perfect. They love it. They're so happy. I know since then they've done a huge in-ground pool and all the things. So yeah, they're very happy. Very, very happy. Okay, so what sort of locations do you guys try to, stay with?
Mm-hmm. We try to stay about 45 minutes from our office, which is in Kaukauna.
Okay.
We do that mostly for our subcontractors, so they're not running around, an hour this way and an hour that
Sure.
way and all that. We do try to keep kind of our group of subcontractors for, like the Green Bay area, and then our group for, the Fox Valley area, just again, so they're not running all over the place.
Sure.
too.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. How many, roughly on average, do you think, how many builds do you have going on at one time?
I would say 10 to 15. They're all in different phases of construction.
Sure.
But we try to keep, as many going as possible, three.
Right.
3 or so a month starts. is
Okay.
what we like to try to keep.
Dang.
So I'm assuming you guys have like project managers that
We do.
oversee all of that, because that's a lot of moving pieces, right?
Yes, we have 2 project managers. Again, we try to keep them, like you take the north side of stuff,
Sure.
and we'll take the south side. And then there is another salesperson like myself, and then we have an assistant who is graduating into being a salesperson. So
Very cool.
love that for him. The 2 project managers, and then they are on site almost every day, and then
Okay.
John himself does visit the sites, I would say, at least once a week at a minimum.
Wow. So he's very active. That's
Yeah,
great.
He's actually the only builder in the area that does his own excavating, so him and his son do it.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So he's
That's
very
cool.
knowledgeable in the dirt,
Sure.
which he loves.
Yeah.
So we actually will do free lot evaluations for people.
Sure.
So if someone's
Oh,
like,
that's
hey, I really
nice.
like this lot.
Yep.
And then we get there and are like, okay, well, let's talk about, like, we're going to have a really long driveway. So that's another $4,000 or whatever it is. Or this lot, you can't do a walkout and the buyer has to have a walkout. Okay, well, that could change things too.
Right.
Yeah,
I've heard of times where, and that's really nice to know too, that you guys will, offer that for free, because I know a lot of times, it's hard to get a builder out there. But people, holy crap, I've had people buy lots, and then after they've bought the lot, find out that it's going to cost them $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 more to build because of something to do with the lot,
Yeah,
right?
What do you mean I can't have a south-facing driveway or whatever?
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
in this corner.
So that's really good, because those are all things that you probably don't think about all that much when most people don't, right? You're just like, oh, pretty lot.
Right. Or
There's
you're
some
walking a
trees.
lot and you're like, okay, well, I'm seeing a lot of old, like, bricks laying around. Like, maybe there was an old foundation, and then we have to be like, okay, well, if we don't hit virgin soil, then we have to dig deeper, and what's the cost of that? And
Sure.
what that looks like for the buyer, too.
Right. That's a lot. It's also really good to know that he does his own excavating. I mean, we've had a few experiences recently with buyers and sellers that new construction homes where the basement was at least one of the walls was bowing a couple inches and things like that.
Yeah, and it
So-
was determined that they had hit it with the backhoe when they were backfilling.
John has own back
Yeah.
too, so we're covered.
I love that. That's awesome.
yeah, and
So he's busy guy.
Yes, yeah.
Holy
I mean,
cow.
talking about basements, we have a lifetime dry basement guarantee on all of our homes.
Ooh.
So it's something that John came up with the whole system there.
Sure.
It's not patent, but
No, but I
he
love
did,
that.
Yeah, he did come up with the whole system. So if anything were to happen with the vertical walls, we would come by and stand behind it.
That's
So,
amazing. That's really, really good to know. And obviously, I'm sure you guys offer 1 year builder warranty, right,
do.
for the first year as well.
Yep, and a lot of the products within the home are going to have their own warranty, like windows, siding, roofing,
Sure.
all of that.
Yeah.
That will greatly outlive that 1 year.
That's very cool. Very nice. Do you guys have anything new coming? Any new programs? Anything exciting?
We do.
Cool.
So we are working on what we're calling our Hallmark series.
Okay.
So it is a lineup of, we haven't quite figured out yet, but 3 to 5 homes
Okay.
plans that people could essentially choose which one they wanted. They could choose their upgrades, and they could just have kind of a package deal. They would not be homes that we could adjust or modify as far as like the floor plan goes, outside of maybe like a 3-car versus a 2-car garage,
Sure.
like small things like that. But trying to streamline it so people could even like, go online and like pick out what they want, and then they're like, okay, this would work, or you guys could use it,
Sure.
or
Yeah.
if you're with a buyer and like, okay, we can look at existing homes that are in this price range, and if for that price range and new construction you could get something like this.
Sure. Absolutely. I love that. That's really great.
Yeah.
Very cool. I mean, you guys are just like doing all sorts of great things.
Thank
I love that. Rolling out all kinds of good programs. What would you say, because a lot of people, again, I think are fearful of new construction and the costs and things. What would you say is like probably just a rough average for like the new Hallmark series that you're going to have?
We are going to try to keep them under 400 with the lot.
That's great.
So depending on lot costs, I know some of your less expensive lots are in like that 50 to 65. We do have a lot shortage right now, so if we can get some more stuff kind of rolling that way. A lot of the newer lots are, closer to like that 80,000 probably, and I don't see that coming down really.
Right.
I think you're going to see more of an upward tick on that in the next year or so here for sure.
Yeah.
So,
That's great, though. I mean, that's a really good price point for new construction, especially at this point with the cost, how everything has gone up. Because for 400,000, you don't even. I mean, in our area, 400,000 used to get you a very big home, right? Very great, and now it's it's nice, but it's not as much as it used to be.
Yeah, our stepdad loves to tell the story of, like 30 years ago or whatever, you could get a brand new house for 150,000 and they'd throw in a free lawnmower for you.
Yeah, for real.
I've been doing this for 11 years, and when I started, the same house was 200,000, and is now over 4 or 5 even.
Ooh, scary. We all need raises.
Yeah.
So what about the MDH line then? What is kind of the average in that price point in that line?
I would say anything from like that 400, 450 for just the house, up to maybe the 600 or so.
Okay. That's still, I think that's great. It's really good. And then what about the John Huss? I mean, obviously the sky's the limit, right?
It is. I don't
Probably upwards of like 500.
I would say minimum of 300 a square foot.
Okay.
So
Got it.
and then up from there, you can.
Sure.
Like even just talking, like your Bluetooth speakers in your house, you can spend 3,000. You can spend 30,000.
Sure.
Like it adds up per square foot depending on what you want. But the way that we kind of run things, so I would help through the entire process. I help design the plans. I help pick everything out, all of that.
That's fun.
Yeah, so I can kind of keep that in mind. Like, okay, they have high-end taste. Maybe we should scale the plan down square footage-wise, or is there stuff we could add later, or just kind of trying to keep all of that working together
Sure.
throughout. And then when we go to bid out a project, we're not just bidding it out as John would build it.
Sure.
We're bidding it out per what the customer wants. So that gets you less change orders down the line. Everybody's on the same page as to what people are getting and what we're building, all of that too. So
That brings up a really good thought. So my husband claims, allegedly, that everywhere I go, like when we picked out flooring, we didn't even see the prices of the flooring. We were just looking at like 4 or 5 different options. But of course, the one that I picked was the most expensive. I don't know. It just happens to me. So he would probably love you because right off the bat, you'd be like, well, she's got high-end taste. And he'd be like, well, she's on a beer drinker's budget. Champagne taste on a beer drinker's budget, right? Shauna's like throwing me these things. She's like, hey, Kelly, you can have this one. I'd be like, yes.
You're over here going, how do I get a slide in my master bedroom?
we've done that.
Do you know what? That honestly is so cool. And do you remember, Nick, we sold a house several years back in
We
Sherwood.
did. I think they built it.
Maybe they?
I think they did.
You might have.
Yeah.
And it had a slide, like a loop-de-loop slide, going from like the, what do you call it?
From like the second floor down to the basement.
Yeah. It landed
Yeah,
in the
we
basement.
might
It was
have.
so cool.
Was it yellow?
I was like, oh my gosh, that's the coolest thing ever.
I can show you a photo. I have a
Okay,
picture.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
It was
100%
very,
sure.
it was like
Yeah.
very unique. I was like, this is so cool. The stuff that you can do with houses, right? It just blows my mind. Like when I go on the parade of homes, that's always something that when I do that, I go home to my house and I hate
feel terrible.
everything. I
Yeah.
hate everything. I want nothing to do with it. So then what I do is my strategy is then I have to watch a couple episodes of Hoarders. And then I feel all better.
I like that. I should try that.
It really, honestly, it helps so much. It's like, okay, back to reality here. This could be a lot worse, right? Okay, so thank you for sharing that pricing information because I think a lot of people, are nervous about that. So it's good to know that it's actually pretty darn affordable. I mean, it really is. And again, like you said, you're getting a brand new product with new windows, new roof, new, water heater, new everything. And so most likely you're not going to have to worry about any of those things for a long time, which is very nice.
And a brand new home is going to be a lot more energy efficient than in a used home.
Sure.
I mean, our houses are generally in the 30 to 40% higher than the building standard for energy efficiency, and that would be through the Focus on Energy program through Wisconsin.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you take houses that are similar in size, an older home, 20 years older than the brand new one, you're probably saving $100, $200 a month just in utility costs too.
Wow.
So that's something
That's
to factor
awesome.
in.
That's true. Because it all, as my mom would say, it all adds up.
Yes.
It just all adds up. Okay, so now I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Okay.
I want to know what is like 1 or 2 of your like most favorite things that you guys have done, like unique things within the build or something that somebody picked out that you were just like, wow, that's cool.
I don't know if I have a favorite. I like when people can be unique, like they're comfortable with that.
Yeah,
We've done like skull wallpaper in a house. That was really cool.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, John really likes. He gets his big ideas. Like
Okay.
He's a big dreamer.
Sure.
So he does really love to do like metal stuff, like metalworking, like big I-beams.
He's
and-
amazing at
yeah.
it. That house that we were talking about before that my buyers wanted and then they built it in Nina. Amazing.
Yeah.
The basement, the metal was incredible.
Yep, and all that is that table and that he built that.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He's so talented.
I
John,
know.
you're so talented. You are. I love that.
We've done. We had a house in Town Center, I think, but we were sitting at the plan design meeting, and I'm like, "So, guys, like, what if we had a 3rd-story tree house?" And they were like,
Yes.
That is so cool.
Yep. So then we did the 3rd-story tree house. So it went up from the 2 boys' rooms.
Okay.
There was like we custom built some metal ladders.
Sure.
They went up, and then we were able to have a little hangout fort tree house.
Oh my gosh.
That's so cool.
That's amazing.
I want a tree house.
Nick, we were really robbed
Yeah.
growing up. only tree house we had is like tree in the backyard. Put a blanket over their little fort. That's what we get.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. But very, very cool. That's amazing. I love that. Okay, now I also happen to know that you have another business that you run,
Yep.
and it's called LMNT.
Yes. So it's Element.
Element.
Element. Yes.
Element. I love that. I love that. That's so cool. LMNT, Element Construction. And now this is completely separate.
It is.
This
yes.
is yours.
Yep.
And what do you guys focus on?
We do like it's more the remodel world.
Sure.
Like even small jobs like backsplashes and things like that. My boyfriend and I started to do like flipping and stuff like that, which we still will do. But we really just like the work. We like to get our hands dirty and
That's
don't like
awesome.
to sit around. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're like always on the move.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Because honestly, like that stuff, oh my God, when I look at a house and I see I can see the potential, but the idea of me doing it just makes me tired.
Yeah, you're like, man, somebody could have a really nice kitchen in
Somebody
here."
could have a really cool. So that's really great that you guys get into all of that. I love that so much. I know I was asking you earlier before we started recording, can you do my bathroom? And Bill Davies, Shawna will be over in the next couple of days. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get this bathroom done.
You guys did do a really good job on that, like the shared bathroom.
We did, and I told her. I said, Bill can do a lot of things. One thing he literally is not. He can do, but he's not super comfortable with is like tiling in a shower. But pretty much anything else he can do. The challenge for us, as I'm sure it is for a lot of people, is time, right? And this is our primary bathroom now that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So moving everything out of the primary bathroom, and then what? Are we using the kids' bathroom? Are we using our downstairs bathroom? We can, you know what? We can be inconvenienced for a small amount of time. And, you know, sometimes I find that projects get told to me by my wonderful love you, Bill, that they're going to take like 4 days.
Yeah.
And they take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Just because, again, the time. He can do it, but it's the time factor, right? So I think it'd be amazing to have you guys come in. We'd have everything set up, right, in terms of what we're going to do, and you just do it. I love that.
Yeah.
Like if I gave you a picture off of Pinterest, you just make it happen.
For the most part, yes.
I love that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what I need in my life. Like, here you go. Here's what I want. Please proceed. Tell me how much it costs when you're done. No.
Yeah. Here's my Kelly Davies big bag of cash.
Yeah, right. I wish. So what are some of the things that you guys have done? So you've flipped some houses.
Yes.
'Kay.
So we've done the flips that we like to do, and maybe this is because I'm part of the new construction world.
Yeah.
We like the ugliest,
Okay.
like worst case scenario house.
Sure.
So that we can take everything out and make sure it's done correctly from inside the walls and back out.
Got it.
So we've done where we gutted everything, even taking out the floors and redoing floor joists. Like
Wow.
all of that. Because, like I said, we want it done right.
Yeah.
And B, we want it done well.
How did you learn how to do all this stuff? Just from working, you know, at MDH all these years? Or did you just, how do you have all this knowledge?
I mean, yes, and YouTube.
I love that. It's so true. If you really want to learn something, right, you can learn it. It's just a matter of actually learning it. I'm not good at any of those things.
It's a lot of trial and error.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Shawna, we're going to have to talk. I have lots of projects for you. We want to put in a sliding patio door.
Sunroom, I know about it.
Yeah, well, that one she said that they're not moving into the construction part at this point.
Okay.
But I do have grandiose plans for a Four Seasons room.
Okay.
We've wanted this Four Seasons room added onto our house for years. We've gotten some quotes. I'm sure now they would be even more expensive. But again, you know, I'm a realtor, so I see things and then I want things. So I don't want just like a room. I want like a room, Four Seasons room with these amazing windows, and then like these little like transom glass windows on top, and the stone fireplace, and all of the things, and it's just like the dollar signs just keep. And so we've held off on it. Maybe someday, but I've been begging for a hot tub. Okay. And you've heard it here, folks. You've heard it here. So follow up with me in about 3 months.
Oh, okay. That's
Okay.
all?
And
3
hopefully
months.
I have a hot tub. Bill said he's going to start working on it. So we've decided we're going to do the hot tub off of our primary bedroom. And so we want to turn the primary bedroom windows into patio doors.
Sure.
Do you guys do that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
She's like, of course we do.
Yeah.
I love that.
Piece of cake. That's like an hour's work.
Easy peasy,
Yeah.
right?
Sunroom, no.
Right. But the patio doors, yes. I love that. I love that you can, have a side business where you're doing that kind of stuff and remodeling and making things look pretty again. And then you work with new construction too.
Yeah. And
Very,
it
very
does-
cool.
It does help because we do the remodeling and stuff like that, that when we are building the houses for people, I can kind of advocate for them as well. As this is kind of how this should be done. Or
Yeah.
like, I don't know, somebody's laying the tile wrong. And
Right.
Okay, well, we should do it this way.
Yeah.
Or,
You know your stuff.
Yeah.
If somebody, I'm going to be honest. I mean, I know about houses when I'm showing an existing home or even a new home that's already built. But if somebody came to me and said, Kel, where do we start with building? I would be like, listen, that is way above my pay grade.
You
I
get a
have
couple
no clue.
sticks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay, so how do people best find MDH?
So, I mean, you can call me direct. 419-8325 is my
Okay.
cell. Or you can email Shawna, it's SHAWNA, and then at Midwest Design Homes, which is plural.com.
MidwestDesignHomes.com. Got it. And then also your website.
Yes, so that's just MidwestDesignHomes.com.
Perfect. And what about LMNT?
Currently just cell phones.
'Kay.
So, yeah, that 419-8325 for that.
Cool.
It's a brand new company, so about 2-3 weeks in on it.
I
so-
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm so excited to and one of the things I love, just because I've been, working on this little thing for a while now, this business, is talking to other people. We'll have to chat again in a year when you've, had a little more time. And I love hearing about the startups, the challenges, the good things, what you've learned, the things that you'll never do again, all that kind of stuff. Because there's so much of that, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it is you just got to get started and then trial by fire.
Exactly.
Right?
Fail, and that's how you learn the most.
Uh-huh. I always say the biggest lessons I've learned, you never want anything to go wrong. But unfortunately, we're all human. Things can go wrong at times. And that's where you learn. And I always try to look at, even if I'm not the one that technically caused the situation, what could we do? What could we improve upon to try to make this better in the future? So
And
I
you
love
can make
that.
it into a big clickbait thing too, like 5 things I'll never build in a house again. Or whatever. I don't know.
Yes. We could all have lessons on
Yeah.
on those kinds of things. Things I'll never do again, right?
I've seen your builder hates you if you put this in your house, on TikTok.
Oh,
Oh, good.
I'm
Goodness gracious.
sure. I'm sure. You know what? On that note, what are some things that you're seeing trending in, design wise in the building world these days, and some things that might be a little more on the outs?
So definitely personality and color is definitely coming back. People are
Good.
sick of white and gray.
I'm
and
excited
everything.
about that. Yeah.
So, I mean, people have even done black interior doors or even tan trim and
Sure.
tan doors. That's cool. Green cabinets are really in, but
I got the forest. I'm guilty. I got the forest green cabinets with the
Did you?
with the muted gold.
Well, it
in my
looks like your
kitchen.
outfit right now, actually.
Yes, pretty much. This is my cabinets.
I might have done that too.
I'm hoping it's going to be okay for a while,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It should be, but yeah, more of those earthy tones and just getting some brick elements. And
Sure. Oh, I love any sort of exposed brick.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool.
And then, I don't know what's on the outs. So obviously the gray and white.
Okay.
We're done with that.
Shiplap.
Shiplap.
feel like everybody loves a
Yeah.
good shiplap.
They do.
You know?
And I think people still are doing them,
Okay.
but they're not really doing like the whole like white shiplap. It's like I said,
Yeah.
more colors. and
Okay. Sure.
a little accents of it versus like a whole wall of shiplap too.
Got it.
So that, and then
What about the wood walls?
like
I'm guilty. I have one of those in my bedroom. We
Oh,
still
yeah.
really like it. We like it. Of course, we got all the wood from Urban Evolutions.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, like the reclaimed
expensive
wood.
stuff.
made, spent like $7 million on it. So we're going to keep it for a while. But I feel like maybe that's kind of going away too, a little bit.
I wouldn't say that. I would
Okay.
say people are still doing.
People
a lot
are still
of wood
doing
accents.
it? Good.
Cool.
Well, see, I feel so much better now. I'm still on trend.
Kelly's like, what else is not happening in my house anymore? Our corner fireplace is still a thing.
They are.
I just need to know that I'm not like I've always said, as I get older, I'm gonna read some magazines. I'm gonna try to stay on trend.
You're not going to
right?
be that unhip old person.
I really don't want to be.
Yeah.
I really don't want to be. I don't want to be that person that like you go in their house and it's like this was definitely decorated 50 years ago, right? Well, very cool. I'm so glad that we got to hear all about the whole building process. MDH, John Huss Homes, your new project with the Hallmark series, right? Hallmark series, and Element. Thank you so much. Okay,
course. Thank
so
you.
we always try to wrap up with some weekend events
Okay.
because we like to share what's going on in the area. So we pick some highlights, and this week, Friday, June 21st. That's Friday, right? Yeah,
Yep.
Friday, June 21st. Make Music Day in Appleton. Sounds kind of fun. Oh, they've had this before.
Yes.
It's on College Ave. Yeah, diverse performers, all kinds of genres, rock, jazz, classical, folk. So it's just like musicians of all ages, talents. It's open to everyone. And free admission. You can just go down there and listen. I think it's like pretty much all down College Ave.
Yeah, it's like a miniature mile of music.
Yes, miniature mile of music. Yes. So 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Friday. So that's pretty cool. And then I love a good food truck. Food Truck Friday. So this is at 1025 North Badger Ave in Appleton from 4 to 8 on Friday. There's going to be Bay Area Burger, Blue Lid Barbecue, Blue Suede Foods. That's kind of cute. Diablo's Tacos.
Oh, that's
We've
my
had
favorite
them
taco.
here before. Little Birdie's Treats and Coffee and Caribbean Taste. That's amazing.
That's a good lineup.
I
is a
just
lineup.
want to go and be with the food trucks. Just let me have that moment. Saturday, June 22nd, Fox Valley Diecast Club's Diecast Show and Swap Meet. That's interesting. So multiple brand and scale diecast vehicles will be on display and for sale at this monthly Little Car Enthusiast meetup.
Oh, neat.
Kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
Free popcorn, hot and cold food available for purchase. Let's see. This is held at The Dome, it's called, which is 1338 South Commercial Street in Neenah. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, free admission.
Neat.
Pretty cool. Menominee Zoo summer programs. I love the Menominee Zoo.
Oh, I love that
It's
place.
cute. Listen to this. Tulip Bouquet Craft, 10:30 a.m. Saturday.
Nice.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I bet you're going to get on that one, Nick.
I really like that zoo, but I'm actually not in town this weekend, so.
Okay. Animal matching game at 4 p.m.
Oh.
I don't know if they're going to match up the real animals or if this is more of a, right? During the summer at Menominee Park Zoo, the zoo educator holds free and fun educational programs. All you need to do is come to the zoo during the class, check the easel at the entrance to find out where the group meeting is.
Oh, cool.
And then you can do all sorts of cool things. 520 Pratt Trail in Oshkosh. And again, free admission. Menominee Park Zoo is open daily, 9 to 6. Very cool.
And they got some cool stuff there. They got wolves. They got a tortoise that you can pet.
I love their tortoise. That
Yeah.
tortoise has been around forever.
Yeah.
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 We got to go check that out again. I love doing this too because it reminds me of things that I don't think about all the time either. Like, oh yeah, Menominee Park Zoo. Got to get there, right? June 23rd, Sunday, local market at Stone Arch. Stone Arch Tide House?
That's the one in Little Chute.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Come and enjoy a morning filled with locally sourced produce, unique handcrafted gifts, and engaging arts and crafts. Activities and free ice cream for kids.
And adults, or
Yeah.
Well, I think, maybe we could get a little from the kids. Adoptable dogs. Well,
what?
who couldn't use another dog?
Oh,
I mean, I have 3, but why not have 4?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then live music from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. So it's 137C, as in Charles, West Main Street in Little Chute.
It's right across the street from the windmill. Can't miss it.
Yep.
Right across from the windmill in Little Chute. Yeah, you cannot miss that. That is definitely, I mean, it's there for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think it's going to be another great weekend. Hopefully we have good weather. Rain, go away.
Yeah.
And maybe
gonna
the
be camping.
humidity too. You're going to be camping?
Yeah, in a tent.
Ooh, tent camping?
Yes.
There is no amount of money. Well, I shouldn't say that. Everybody's got, one of my sayings in life is everybody's got a price for everything, right?
And it would probably be about the price of a sunroom.
Yeah.
Yes. For a sunroom. If you said, Kelly, we will build your sunroom starting next week if you go tent camping this weekend, I'm in.
She would have the bug spray on.
Yeah.
I would be ready. I would, yeah. But other than that, no. Where are you guys going to go tent camping?
Evergreen Campground in Wapaka.
Oh, boy. That sounds like a good time. My idea of camping is getting a hotel. That's...
Like a 2-star hotel. You're like, I'm roughing it this weekend.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's about all I do. Shawna, do you have anything exciting planned this weekend?
We're gonna try. I think maybe we talked about it. Trying that Primal place in Shawna.
Ooh, tell us about that.
Yeah.
So I remember my uncle talking about it.
Okay.
I know they have it's like a deer farm, I think, too, where you can go and shoot the deer.
Okay.
That kind
Yeah.
of thing. I think.
Sure.
But they have all different kinds of exotic meats too.
Ooh, that's cool.
I live for meat.
Yeah,
so-
me too, girl. Me
Steak, I'm in.
too. Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna try it out and see.
That's cool.
see what's on the
Primal
menu.
in Shawno. That
Yeah.
sounds really good.
Huh.
I love that.
We're actually doing we're gonna have 3 houses in Kakana open this weekend on Sunday too.
Ooh, okay.
10 to
3
12.
open houses
Right by the high school.
right by the high school. Okay. So
Over
those are
in-
spec homes that are done?
They are, yes, 3
Okay.
ranches.
Is that like
Very nice.
Blue Stem Meadow or something like that?
It is.
Yeah.
But you go.
Blue Stem Meadow. You said
Yeah.
10 to noon?
10 to noon.
10 to noon on Sunday. Cool. Everybody should get out and check those out. And everybody seriously should reach out. You can connect with us or you can connect directly with Shawna. But seriously, if you're thinking about building at all, definitely, this is the way to go. They do an amazing job. So thank you again so much for being here.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To contact the Kelly Davies Homes team for all of your buying and selling needs, call 920-791-9047. Find us on Facebook at the Kelly Davies Homes team or go to kellydavieshomes.com.